Hey everyone, the Talking Dads podcast is brought to you by Little Scholars Early Learning Center. Whether your family needs infant care, a preschool program, or before and after school care, Little Scholars' highly rated Step Up to Quality programs provide quality early childhood education at an affordable price. Visit www.littlescholars.net to get in contact with an enrollment specialist and schedule a tour of any of their 5 Lake County campuses. Here's the deal. Talking Dads fans are getting a little bonus. Mention that you heard about them through our podcast, and when you tour, and you'll receive $25 off of your registration fee. Again, that's Little Scholars Early Learning Center, where children learn, play, and grow together. We are also brought to you by Pubfredo Gastropub. Pubfredo was voted Best Gastropub in Cleveland in 2019 by Cleveland Magazine's Silver Spoon Awards. We love Pubfredo. Their menu is chef-inspired, always pushing the limits of traditional pub fare. The other night I had a burger, I believe it was called the Pub Burger. It was incredible. Cooked perfectly. It was amazing. And you won't have a problem pairing your favorite item on the menu with their great selection of local craft beers, crafted cocktails, and of course, an amazing bourbon and whiskey selection. I went with the Bullet 10-year with my Pub Burger. All of this in a cozy, fun, come-as-you-are atmosphere. You can check them out at pubfredo.com and on Facebook and Instagram at Pubfredo Gastropub.
We are also brought to you by Marky Fresh Barbershop in Mentor, Ohio.
Bro, I love Marky Fresh.
It's the best, isn't it?
Dude, I get cut there like every 3 weeks. My kid gets cut there every month
Every
and a
now and
half or
then.
so. Month and a half, 2 months, something like that. They do such a good job.
The environment is phenomenal. Everybody's awesome there.
Can I tell you a secret? I don't
Please.
even give a shit about the haircut. It is so much freaking fun going there.
Just to hang out.
Yeah. I have such
Just have a good time. Every time, man.
Yeah.
You get caught. If you want to be in there fast.
Oh, yeah.
Their whole app, everything, booking to get in.
So
It's so
easy.
convenient and easy, but you get caught up
Oh, yeah.
because you just want to hang out and talk with these guys.
You know what the word is? Shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
So many shenanigans.
You don't want to leave.
It's so much fun. But honestly, they do a fantastic job.
They really do.
I look way better when I leave than when I get
You
in there.
really do.
I know.
So, yeah, Marky Fresh.
Yeah, book at markyfresh.com.
Book, get in, stay fresh.
What's up, everyone? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of The Talking Dads. This week's special guest is Matt Bralley. Kind of a blast from the past. Haven't talked to this dude in forever, so it's really good catching up with him. My little buddy Walter caused some technical difficulties for us, so the end kind of got cut off, but nonetheless, we had a really good conversation, a lot of good dad hacks, really cool proud dad moment, and talked a lot about baseball and activities and just things like that. And of course, food. Enjoy the episode. Have a wonderful weekend, and we love you.
In a world where moms continue to dominate parenting authority and a father's role is minimized in society, 2 dads take on the toughest parenting topics on a weekly basis, all while drinking bourbon. They are the Talking Dads.
I appreciate you guys invite me here tonight.
Absolutely,
man.
man. It's been a while. I think the last time I saw you was last summer, right?
Yeah.
T-ball?
Yeah, we
Because we
ran
were
T-ball.
practicing right next to each other.
So you guys still T-ball this year?
Yeah.
Okay, so we stepped up midgets?
Mighty Mites?
No.
Well, I don't know how it works for
It's a menor
Menor.
league.
Menor league, so I think we jumped up to
It was a coach pitch.
coach pitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right, so
she's funny.
big time, man.
Yeah.
Did you guys start practice and everything?
Yeah. So we're 3 practices in.
Okay.
Do you remember McBride?
Yeah.
So he's the coach.
Okay.
I'm helping out. Me, him, another father. We're getting these guys moving. I mean, these kids, there's a handful of them that have been playing for 3 or 4 years that are just amazing already that it's like, okay, cool. You know, and then we have the handful. We're like, okay, we got to figure this out quick.
Yeah.
I mean, the hardest part for that age group is just getting them to focus, right?
Yes.
I mean,
I think that like Mighty Mites or midgets, whatever it may be called, is a little bit better because T-ball, you go through that whole lineup and the kids in the field are just like After the
Well,
first
it's
inning,
10 minutes of
they're
batter.
done.
Yeah,
they're
over.
just they,
Right,
and they're all
right.
just they're playing in the dirt, and it's like they don't care. It's like my son was like would walk off the field. He'd be like,
You got any snacks?
He's like, I'm done. He's be like, I'm done. I'm like, I know it's like 95 degrees,
Right.
but just
Yeah,
got to
same.
deal with it for a few more minutes, buddy.
Once they get hot, man, they really get over it.
Oh, yeah.
The hat comes off. They're like,
Yep, playing with their mid.
That's interesting though, because my son moved up to we call it Mighty Mites over at the Concord League, but like
what's the age group?
it's supposed to be 7 and 8.
Okay. That's a little bit older than
My son's 5.
7 and 8.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
what it's supposed to be. That was my big issue with it. So here's the thing: I fucked up. Like T-ball in that league is supposed to be 5 to 7, or no, 4 to 6,
Okay.
and I started him at 3. I like petitioned and I said, "Look, my son wants to play. You know, blah blah blah," and they're like, "Okay, he can play." So we played 2 years. So at 3 and 4, played T-ball.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just don't want him to do it another year.
Yeah.
But now we're in that age group where it's supposed to be 7 and 8 year olds.
That's funny though.
But we have a couple 6-year-olds, so it's pretty loose how they.
So I'll ask, does he play well enough to?
We'll see. He can definitely hit the ball.
Yeah.
Fielding, we're starting to work on now.
I feel like fielding's tough for these kids
It's
though, man.
tough.
Like these mitts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I try to give my son. So I actually have my mitt from when I was
Old school.
my 5, like when I was 5.
That's
my
awesome.
first mitt I ever had. My dad had it for all these years. He gave it to me.
Super soft by now, right?
Oh, it's amazing. And I'm like, Sam, use this mitt. He's like, it's not.
move.
He's like, it's not cool. I'm like, dude, it's awesome. It's Don Mattingly.
What do you
Like,
mean?
This is
Yeah.
this mitt's
It's
badass,
not cool.
dude.
It's not bright red.
It still says my name on the side of the permanent marker. It's just Stephen Backnick.
you
You know,
go.
I'm like, dude, you know, I'm like, I start writing my kids' names on their shit because
I know. So we
bad about
did a at South High School. There's a baseball camp,
yeah,
and it was kind of pricey, but we were looking for something for him to do, and we knew he was going to move up, so we wanted to work on some skills. So last week was the first one, and the next youngest kid is like 9.
Wow.
But he was holding his own, and he was working with these college coaches and college kid players and stuff like that. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
He
Cool experience.
oh yeah,
he kind of like I almost saw it click. Like when we went there, it was just like any other sports that he's done. He was like all happy, getting ready to run around in the dirt, whatever.
oh yeah, he's
And
5.
Right. And then he saw that like it was very structured.
Yeah.
So I thought that was very good for him
Yeah.
to like
It's
kind of
very
understand. And we talked about it a little bit. And he's like, okay, I'm going to learn.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this. I'm like, okay.
Good man.
So
yeah.
we'll see.
That's awesome. I'm just thinking, did you play baseball growing up?
Yeah, I played ball from. I played rec ball up until 17.
Okay. Yeah.
I think I might have started pony leagues in Menor and then bailed out.
Oh. Yeah. There you go.
There we go.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just trying to think of like when we started coach pitch. Like I'm so
Yeah.
blown away that that league starts at 7 and
It's
8.
so weird to
because I
me.
remember starting at coach pitch at 5.
That's when we started.
Yeah. That's what. Yeah.
I don't even know that I remember that far back. So I played in Bedford. I played in Warrensville.
Oh, gotta get the camera.
Down here. I honestly I just remember naturally just being able to hit the ball,
Yeah.
and next thing being on a team and not really any kind of transition, just kind of like go out there and play.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's I don't remember. I know I didn't play t-ball. I started at coach pitch when I was 5, and I had 2 older brothers. You know both of them, and I always wanted to play because they were playing.
My
So I was
buddies.
super into it. But that was at 5 though. I remember that. Jeez, Walter, you are all over everything, buddy.
Whose dog is it?
That's mine. Is it? Yeah, he's a pup. We just got him 2 months ago. 3 months.
Fresh.
maybe? Yeah.
Was he tiny? Or
Dude, he was
Yeah,
when
he
he was
was-
first coming in
he was
here.
little.
We put him up on the table.
Yeah.
Wow.
He was tiny, and he just blew up.
So he's gonna be tall, probably.
Yeah.
Oh, big dog.
All
Is he just wrapped up on all your wires?
right now.
Okay.
Chill, Wally.
So you've always been a big guy, so I feel like you naturally had some power when you were hitting.
Yeah. So
Tall guy.
Baseball was just natural for me, man. It was, I don't know, coordination, hand-eye coordination's always been something that just kind of came to me. And
Yeah.
baseball was just second to that. I actually played catcher
Loved playing catcher.
Probably like 95% of the time.
Yeah.
I loved playing catcher.
Yeah. I didn't at first. My knees hurt. I think that's any position, but I think the idea of like, you know, we talk about the kids in the field going, "Oh, I haven't touched the ball. The ball doesn't come to me."
Yeah.
You're
You
always in action.
always have the ball.
So it really wasn't. It wasn't like a big deal to get down there and take care of business. So, I caught forever, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved playing catcher. You're right. You're always in the action. And I don't know. I always loved like the, you know, once we were a little bit older, calling signs and like having that relationship with the pitcher and then talking a little shit to the batter. And
More
like,
game at that point.
right. I don't know. I always loved that.
Oh man, I do miss it, and that's why I think we all seem to be pumped to have our kids playing t-ball and baseball. It's like it's fun
For
man.
sure. Well, yeah, it just kind of brings you
Then
back.
then it gets frustrating too sometimes.
You know, it's a different. It's not so different. So my stepson, Tony, he'll be 12. He's I don't even know what their league is now. They're
Probably like
Lakers,
would that be
something like
so? I don't even know. Like, is that Pony?
Probably.
Pony, I think is like 12 and
think.
13, maybe, or maybe I think so.
It might be. I don't.
I think it's like Mighty Mites, Miners, and Ponies, and
So
I don't
I
even
think
know.
he might be in the minors or something like
Maybe
that. but
Miners, yeah.
They you know, even at just about to be 12, so he's still 11, but they're still just figuring it out, trying to figure out the game and
Right.
Yeah.
putting two and two together. So it gets frustrating, and it's even a bit more challenging than my daughter. You know, she'll be 6, but she honestly, she surprised me, man. She does better at coach pitch. Not better. She does well at coach pitch.
Yeah.
The T-ball thing, she still prefers the T-ball.
Yeah.
But now that like she sees that she can hit the ball when somebody's throwing it at her, especially
Right.
when it's not me, she does way better.
Oh yeah.
As soon as I step in and I'm like, okay, you know, let me be dad, and she's like, throw the ball, and misses every single one of them.
It's your
and it turns
fault.
into,
Like, yeah.
a
Thanks,
worse
Dad.
Yeah, I didn't hit any. She's hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, well, so with my kid moving up, the deal that I had to make in order for him to move up is they were short on coaches.
Okay.
So
so you
I
had a
had to
coach.
volunteer to coach, and not head coach, just assistant coach.
Yeah.
But I said I coached my son's first t-ball team, and I said never again.
I do not want to coach, and I got pulled in. So I don't think I'm gonna have a major role. I think I'm just helping with practice.
Okay.
Because there's a head coach, and he's like, the first day of practice, I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna go stand off to the side.
Yeah.
And he starts naming off like who the coaches are, and he's like, oh, and Coach Backnick, and I'm like, oh yeah, totally.
Throw you right under that
It's like,
bus.
damn it, man. I'm like,
no chance.
because my son's the same way. He needs to be coached by somebody else.
Yeah.
It can't be me.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
it's number one. It's because I'll just be like, why aren't you getting this?
Figure
you know what I
it
mean?
out.
Like, yeah,
Yeah,
if somebody else is doing it, he does great.
Right.
But if I'm around, it's like,
Yep.
wow. And then he starts thinking, he gets in
I mean,
his own
that's just
head. It's like, yeah,
natural.
you know.
Yeah.
I'm not good at doing the whole separation of like when I did, you know, I've been helping out in practice, raising my voice to my kid, going like, knock it off, like,
Yeah.
pay attention. You
But if it's
the
another
ball's
kid-
over here, you're gonna get hit with the ball. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
Then if it's another kid, you're like, okay, honey.
Okay,
buddy.
Look,
You're doing great.
Hey, pal, you're doing
that
so
way,
awesome.
Please.
Once
Oh,
we had a
yeah.
mom last week. We were it was a kid's first practice.
Yeah.
And his mom, like, he was so nervous. The kid was terrified. So the mom was with him most of the time, like following him around and everything, like running around the bases with him.
Wow.
So I'm helping him hit, and I'm like, okay, I'm obviously gonna be controlled. These kids are 4 and 5 years old,
right.
but I'm like, all right, buddy, you're doing great, you know, like just trying to be super nice. And she's like, okay, thank you so much, coach. I'm like, damn it, I don't want to be that coach. But you're right though. Like, I'm not gonna yell at another kid. Be like, what are you doing, buddy? Like, you know, just hit the ball. Where I can figure this out.
They're right there.
Then Sam comes up, he hits the tee. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, we've done this. Like,
You're better than that.
All the other coaches are like, settle down.
You ever use, like, so we use like my daughter at home. She's always like whack-a-doodle in the yard. She yells like whack-a-doodle when she hits off the tee. So at practice, I find myself yelling. I'm like, don't miss another one. Whack-a-doodle. Come on, whack-a-doodle. And
Yeah, see, but that works though. So she knows. And my son's the same way though. Like, he does better when I pitch the ball to him.
Oh,
The
yeah.
tee, he's like, I don't know, man. His stance gets all funny. He gets all like weird. He's like, you can see him like aiming for it. I'm
Yeah.
like, this is not working, man. The tee's got to go.
Well, it takes the just do out of it because it's just sitting right there. It's static. It's not moving.
Yeah.
and then I think they get in their own heads.
Because if you start hitting the tee, then they're like, damn it. And they keep doing it, and they keep doing it.
Blasting it. My kid thinks she's doing fine when she blasts the tee. She's like, oh, did you see the ball move?
Yeah.
You're good. I'm like, no.
No, the ball's got to go out there.
the ball.
Or she cranks it directly into the ground. Like 10 of them. She's like, I hit those. See, Dad? I'm like, yeah, I saw. Great.
Yeah. Awesome.
I'm like, just try to go up.
Yeah.
Just a
It's
little.
line drives or something. Yeah, I mean,
funny.
it is fun, man. But
I mean, that's the best part about it, though, is like, especially just talking to other guys about it, is they're all the same, right?
Yeah.
Like, they're all learning the same exact way. And it's just funny to see the different perspectives coming out of it, because most dads are the exact same guy, right? Like, we're hard on our kids, and then, you know, we let stuff go eventually. We're just like, all right, well, whatever. Great job.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
It is what it is.
It's not a big, I mean,
you know,
they're little.
let's get through this season.
Yeah, just get through this, figure it out.
You should see some of these kids on my team, man. They're gifted. I mean, they're 5 years old, and the arms on them.
Yeah.
There's the one kid looks like Harry Potter, and he's probably like the best player on my team.
Yeah.
Everything you say, like, oh, you did great. He's like, I played 5 years. I played 5 years. I'm like, aren't you 5 years old, man?
So yeah,
I've played 5 years.
out of the womb, dude. I had a bat in my hand. All right.
All right, then.
But it's funny though. You do see those kids that are like just natural.
Yeah.
Like there was this tiny little guy on Sam's team last year. I mean, he was the smallest kid on the team, but I mean,
where
when
it's
he
at,
picked up the ball and just the way he threw it and everything, I'm like, this kid's got it.
Yeah.
You just know. I'm like, he's already got it figured out. He's just natural. And like I'm trying to tell my kid, I'm like, put the right foot. You know, I'm like, you're stepping with the wrong foot. And he starts thinking about it. Then he's like doing all this crazy shit. And I'm like, I don't even know if baseball is his sport, but we'll see. He's 5.
It's all love.
I try to get mine to just focus on lining up with the plate.
Yeah.
And not like whatever. You know, they all do something different when they get up there.
But, you know, I started doing for every kid that comes up to the plate because I was in charge of the tees last week at practice. I go up and I draw a line in the dirt. I'm like, that's where your feet go. I'm like, see this X here? Put that foot there. Put that one there.
Yep.
I'm like, I'll move the tee. And I move the tee and they move off their mark. I'm like, no, go back on the line. There you go.
I was doing
got it.
bubbles in the outfield or infield. I'm like, look, guys. I'm like, stay.
This is your
in
spot.
This bubble, please. Some of them loved it. I was like, great.
Yeah. They're like, oh, yeah. All right, cool. Well, because you tell a kid when they're first starting out, you're like, all right, this is first, second, and third. You go run the bases.
Yeah.
First, second, third, right?
Yeah.
Go play first. The kid stands on first base. Go play second. The kid's standing on second.
Right,
It's like
right.
I mean,
they're
you don't understand
They're
what the
not
positions
wrong.
are. You know, absolutely,
Right.
because we've been pounded into their heads. These are the bases. So, but before we go any further with baseball and all this talk, give us a little, we call a dad profile. What makes you a dad?
Oh.
yeah, just a little introduction for all the
Tell us who you are. All
the
that
wonderful
fun stuff.
listeners out there.
Well, this is the one and only Matt or Matthew Bralley. I am dad to 2 awesome kids, one of my own. The first is my stepson, Tony. My daughter, Macy, is 6 years behind this young man. And my wife, Cindy, you know, she's the other half that makes me a dad, I guess. So
Right.
she's amazing. But I'll be 38 this year. I'm a commercial insurance underwriter at this point.
Okay.
I've been with Progressive for 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Loving life, working, making a living from home,
There you go.
wearing hoodies.
Yeah, just relax, man. Yeah, Progressive, man. You guys haven't been in that office since it started, right? You guys haven't been.
So, I mean, I've been home, I think, a year and a half before COVID hit.
Oh, okay, so you already working from
Okay.
home anyway. Okay.
I was just waiting for my group to get the opportunity to do that. Basically, any job can be mobile.
Sure.
For that
Absolutely.
company. It just at some point my department wasn't. It was like this. I'm in underwriting, so it's not like a phones or customer service role. We have to have access to certain things, and they just weren't ready to put it, in the virtual world. I
Right.
guess.
Yeah.
Right.
So once they did it, man, and I was like, they were like, well, we're gonna do a pilot. I'm like, call him captain.
Yeah. Right.
So I was one of the first of 3 or 4 people that went home, and never looked back, man. It's been the best decision ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Good.
honestly, like to make a solid living. My wife works for Progressive too.
Yeah.
She's at home in the other room. To make a solid living, literally, like just waking up, hitting a shower,
Yeah.
You know,
Going to the other room.
going in the yard, I water my roses, and I head back in and get to work, log in.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's a skill to be able to work from home. Like I know that throughout the pandemic stuff, we talked to guys that like, you know, it was new for them, right? Like that you were forced to work from home, and that's a big transition for somebody who's not necessarily wanting it or wasn't expecting it. Sure. Now I work a lot from. I'd say I work 70% from home.
Okay.
And I'm used to it, but even I know, like, there's days where, like, I'll try and cheat myself. I'll sleep in a little bit. I'm like, well, I have a break between 9 and 10. I'll shower then and stuff. And when I don't, like, just get up like a normal work day and shower and get dressed, it throws the whole day off. But, like, so if you know those things, it can be a very... But
yeah, I mean, for some people, that's it, man. Like that works. Like I haven't done it even during the whole lockdown. I didn't. I was in the office the whole time, so it was fine for me because like where I live at my house, like the size of my house, and when the kids were home and the wife was home, I was like, man, I wouldn't be able to get anything done. Like that was tough for me. So going into the office was actually good for me.
Good. Honestly, like when I first started at Progressive, like, you know, people talked about it. Oh, would you ever go home? Like, you know, I wasn't in the position that I'm in now or the same role. I honestly would have said no. And I think I might have said no a few times. Like, it's not for me. I won't get my work done. Or,
yeah.
You know, it's not the same deal. And honestly, so I think that kind of plays into me liking it so much now is I have to like get up and treat it like a work day.
Yeah, right? Absolutely. Because I mean,
my wife doesn't. And I see it. Like I see it every day. I'm like, oh, you're tired, you feel grungy, you're trying to take a walk and a shower in 45 minutes or an hour at lunchtime, and I'm like, no, you got to get up, you got to address the day, you got to be ready to go. If you want to, do your walk at lunch, you're already showered and ready to go.
Like treat it like you're going to the office, right?
Yeah.
I mean
that's literally the best advice that I could ever give anybody who has to work from home or wants to work from home is treat it like you're going into the office.
Yeah. No, I mean, I would have to, I think. And I honestly think that I could do it. I just haven't done it. So, I don't know. I say I can't, but it's like you said, you started off for like, nah, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't work from home. But then and then all of a sudden you start doing it. You're like, hell yeah.
Yeah. I think that came with my role in underwriting. It's a totally different like animal, more or less investigating. I mean, I look at stuff and I work audits and I look at our policies and I can sit there quietly and just kind of do my thing,
Yeah.
Right.
Before, I was taking 30 phone calls a day, asking
that would be tough.
Questions, do this, do that. How do I do this? I'm like, I couldn't do that at home.
Yeah, that'd be too much. Yeah.
So,
right.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool, man. I'm glad things are working out well for you guys. That seems like a good spot. So, like, during everything, kids were doing virtual school and... That's rough.
Nightmare.
I know. I don't mean to make you cringe because it was
brutal,
rough for
man.
everyone.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't even home for it. Like I had to do it a couple times, and man, I was like, God bless these teachers, because I mean, I'm sitting off to the side listening to it, and I'm like, these kids, trying to get them to do what they're supposed to be doing, keeping them focused. They're at home. They're like, shit. I mean, working from home's tough. Get some kids at home.
Learning.
Learning.
That's exactly
like my
what
toys are in the other room. The TV's right there.
Right.
Like, why am I doing this shit?
Yep. No.
So
I mean, especially I remember coming back from, was it Christmas break or winter break, and like these kids jump on their Zoom calls, and it's look what Santa brought me, and look at this, and look at that, and I'm like.
Just holding one of the toys in front of the camera for 10 minutes, waiting for somebody to say something.
We're just waiting to get called on.
Like, oh man, yeah. I'm glad
they did a good job.
All back in school and everything. Then
yeah. So my son is he goes ashore.
Okay.
So he's home on Wednesday still, or virtual day or whatever.
Right.
Okay.
It's kind of a weird schedule for the day, but little Mama Macy, she's back to school 5 days, man. Thank the Lord. And you can see the difference, man. Like she was becoming like neurotic. Like she was just like a little cave woman running around in her underwear.
They got like feral,
No. And it was funny, but like now she comes home and consistently naps. And I'm like, this is amazing. She comes
Yeah.
home, she's like, I need a little snack. Give me a blanket.
Like, jackpot.
Awesome.
Man.
You know, she gets home. I don't have to deal with her right up. Well, not when I say deal with her, but you know,
Right, you get that break. That
Yeah,
that
you're like, okay, all right, she's home safe. Like,
Yeah, and then she gets
quiet,
that
I'm
nap,
still
and she's happy when
working.
then she's well rested.
yeah,
right.
She could ease back into it.
Right. It's a good
cause more
transitionary
disruption.
period.
So let me say that. So I don't know. I'm just thinking about this because when my kid naps, he's just up. So what time does she go to bed usually?
I mean, we're pretty good about. Well, when I say pretty good, like everybody's got their own thing that works.
Oh, yeah.
For them. So, my wife's pretty consistent with. She's in the bed by 8:15, 8:30.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
She's not really wound up. Like she's pretty good about going to bed.
Yeah,
But I will say that, like, you know, on the nights where we know like she's YouTube out, you know, she's like, oh, like what's you know, melatonin.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Over the counter, kids, little melatonin.
for those nights when
they love it. And they're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh. I'm like, I don't even mess with it because it makes me sleep too good. Like I feel like, oh.
Well, I always worry about that. Like when you always hear about like people are like, oh, I can't sleep at night, so I'm starting to take like sleeping pills. And you're like, man, I would probably become dependent on it. Like I couldn't fall asleep for me personally because
Yeah.
I feel like,
You want that sleep.
yeah. But I mean, I even thought about sometimes there was a point where I was having a tough time with sleep, and would they have that NyQuil Z,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
which I think
cool
it's just
box.
melatonin, right?
Probably. I don't
I
know.
think it's just melatonin.
Yeah.
But no, hey, trust me. Now that I have kids,
I
I can sleep. I can fall asleep. I can fall asleep sitting up watching TV. After I get the
yeah.
kids to bed, I'll be like, all right, now I'm gonna go watch a movie.
And I thought that was just age, man.
Yeah.
No.
I'm on a button.
Yeah, man. Seriously, I could pass out at any time.
My wife worries when we drive on trips. She's like, are you sleeping? She's like, are you tired at all? I'm like, no. She's like, you fall asleep in like mid sentence in bed. She's like, I just need to keep checking on you. I'm like, okay.
That's understandable. I get that.
I'm the same way though. If I'm driving, I can stay up for days.
Yeah.
But if I'm a passenger or
Oh, yeah,
any
this-
other
this guy
time, I
is
can just fall
The
asleep.
worst co-pilot.
The worst. I know
We've
it.
taken many trips together.
I know
and,
it.
like, I mean,
Yeah.
not only just because he falls asleep, because he misses turns.
That's true. I don't pay attention.
It's all right.
He has got the GPS over there.
You get a little too comfortable.
It's 100% true. I'm just trying to like find my spot so I can pass out.
Yeah, understandable, man. I get it. Yeah, you're not driving, so you know.
Like Ian, it's a 7-minute trip.
yeah, yeah. But this is
I'm like,
it's
yeah,
real-
but I can get like 6 though.
yeah, but it's nice and quiet.
Rerouting.
Yeah, just music's on, man. I'm relaxed. There's no kids bothering me. I'm passing out.
Listen, it's who I am as a person. I don't.
Hey,
I
well-
don't deny it.
We're driving down to Kentucky in a few weeks, so
Yeah,
if you need to sleep, I'll drive.
I'll just drive. I'll be good.
Literally, we just booked our annual trip to Carolina Beach, North Carolina.
Okay.
We drive every year. It's about a 11-hour drive.
OBX, like Outer Banks.
So it's that direction. It's Wilmington.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
So it's the ocean side, but it's above. It's about an hour and a half north of Myrtle Beach.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
I see the signs for both Myrtle Beach, and I see where I'm going, and I more or less go inland a little bit, and then I like jet out into this little island, which
Okay.
is Carolina Beach, Curie Beach, Carolina Beach, the Cape Fear River. Some people have heard it.
I've heard of that actually.
It's
Yeah.
like where it's like the river's red,
Yeah.
like brown,
Really?
the tannin in
Yeah.
the water, and it meets the ocean, and it's like this like perfect dark line.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I've
Yeah,
seen that before.
pretty
It's pretty awesome.
That's exciting.
So that drive's coming up. That'll take the life out of me. But the last 2 times, we kind of figured it out. You know, the first time we were, I don't know, just thinking we were being logical, and we left at like, I don't know, 10 a.m. or something like that. And I'm like, oh, we'll make a drive, we'll stop. And, you know, 6 or 7 hours into it, I'm like, I don't want to drive tomorrow another 6 or 7 hours. I'm like, man, let's go do this. And then I found my way like into the night and not being able to find a hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that's brutal.
this last 2 times we basically let the kids stay up as late as we can.
Yeah.
Once they pass out, we like pack everything up, get them loaded up. About 3:30, pulled out.
Okay.
And was able to make it like all the way to West Virginia as far as my wife driving, which she hates driving. And then when we get up to West Virginia, she's like, okay, more or less wakes me up out of my little slumber.
Yeah.
And then I hop in the seat. And that gives me the whole nighttime to drive, early morning to drive, and 0 interruptions.
Right.
Yeah.
Except for her. She won't sleep. She's like, she can't sleep with somebody else.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm like,
Just can't relax.
Whatever.
All right, stay up.
My
Fine.
problem, you know?
Yeah.
Right. You're worried about my driving, you better get comfortable. So, yeah, we're excited about that. We found a guy last year called Captain Charlie. He runs a little boat charter. He's an old guy. Looks like Santa Claus in a Margaritaville outfit. Like, he's a real cool dude. Runs a little 24-foot like skiff boat on that river I talked about. Mm-hmm. But he does he'll do like an alligator tour. We went on a shark tooth hunting tour.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, they've got an island out there that's like in the middle of the river that like gets dredged up. And it's,
Did it again.
I hate to see him break that thing.
It's in there pretty good.
Yeah.
When do you guys go? What's like
It's always been the last week of July.
okay.
We got married there 2014, July 31st.
Okay.
So it's always the last week. This year it'll actually be the first week of August, the way it plays out.
Yeah.
There's a I hate to call it a community, but it's a place called Sea Colony that we keep finding rental condos in. And we've experimented. We've gone cheap. We've gone expensive, middle of the road. And the best thing about it, it's got its own pool. It's right on the ocean. No frills, no thrills. Like, it's perfect. Like,
Yeah, I love that kind of place because like
everybody owns
Myrtle's
their own
like it's all commercialized, right? You know, it's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
For me, if I want to go on a vacation, I want something like that house. Like you're by the ocean, but you have a house. It's quiet. There's not a ton of shit going on. It's like I love that. We did that in the Outer Banks a few years back, and I loved it, man. We were in Corolla and Corova, like around that area. Yeah. And it was awesome, man. I love that vacation. It was very relaxing. We didn't have any plans. We didn't really plan anything out because it was like the first time we'd been there. Yeah. And it was perfect. I mean, you had the house. You could walk down. There's like a walkway to the ocean. It was perfect. Yeah. Like, that's the kind of vacation I like.
See, this will be like our 5th trip there, 5th or 6th. So we're almost to the point now where we've done the attraction type deals.
Yeah.
There's a nice aquarium there on the island. They've got a state park, like a historical war, like a beach, like where there was like some sort of battle or some cool stuff. So now we're getting to the point where it's just more or less we figure out like a list of restaurants we want to try.
Nice.
So that gets fun.
There's always good restaurants in those towns too. Like you can just go and get like just like fresh crab legs or
shrimp. I love shrimp.
Oh yeah. Like
even I love seafood.
Oh yeah, so do I. Yeah, I'm really excited. We've been talking about, so last year was the first year that we didn't go on a summer vacation.
Okay.
Both my wife and I, like, we didn't go on a ton of vacations growing up. So we always said when we had kids, like, let's do it. Let's make sure that we go, even if it's just for a long weekend, we'll do something, you know?
Something, yeah.
So last year we didn't really get to do anything, and we didn't really book anything this year. So we're talking about trying to book something towards the end of summer. Okay.
Because we had Disney planned last year.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to be April.
Yeah.
And
we were going together.
We were all set, man. We had it all figured out, and we had everything booked. We had all the rental, everything, and sure enough, COVID hits. Had to cancel everything.
That word Disney. I love the idea. I hate the idea of the cost.
It is
just
expensive.
Me being like we could do it, but it's like I look at that versus me going to the beach for a week with the same 5 people. Like,
right.
I take my niece on vacation, and it's I'm like, I don't know, man.
Right. You could probably do that twice. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Easy.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I mean, eventually it'll happen because she keeps bringing it up. I think she won before I met her. She won like this prize at a job that she had. Mm-hmm. She has $750 or something in gift cards that are like good for forever.
Yeah.
So she constantly is like, hey, those are
We
in the
should
drawer
use
over
those,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, we
these
still
guys-
got
I'm
them.
like, what $750 is?
You get like breakfast.
That's like lunch.
Yeah, dude, you're not getting
maybe
much
a
with
cool
that.
little dress for the kid. I don't know.
I know, man. I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, all right. So I finally gave in. I'm like, all right, we're gonna do it. We had it all figured out, man. And then we still have the tickets. Though,
I mean,
so
right.
It's like we're gonna have to do it eventually.
Still
I guess.
good. Like you can
Yeah.
still.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the thing is like there are ways to do Disney a little bit cheaper.
Yeah.
So like
A
for
little bit
example,
cheaper.
well, like a huge part of the cost is where you stay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's something to be said. Now I've never done it, but there's something to be said about staying on resort, where you get the characters that come up to your room and do all that kind of stuff. But like,
That's the one you got to put on
That's-
Instagram and on Facebook.
Right.
man.
Right.
Like,
but that's like 3 or 4 times the cost of like the Airbnb that we found was 10 minutes from the parks, and it was
See, you're just
Not
being
bad.
You're just being logical and sensical. My wife's
Right,
not down with that.
right.
She's like,
We're staying
but,
on.
but we're
staying
going to
there.
Disney. Like, I want to stay at one of the hotels. I'm like, I hear you.
We're staying in
I'm
the
like,
castle.
who doesn't want to?
Yeah.
I'm like, I get it. I'm like, I have family like 40 minutes from there. I'm like, we could probably
Yeah,
stay
yeah.
for like 0. I'm like,
Yeah, come
imagine what you could buy. I'm like,
Yeah.
imagine all the
Think of-
fun, sparkly stuff that we could bring home.
Exactly, because she'll be like, "Oh, I want to see the stand over here with these little bubbles and these things, like the princess stuff." And I'm like, "Yeah, but we spent all the money on the hotel."
$30 slushy,
Oh God.
but you got to stay cool.
Yeah, you gotta stay cool, man.
I did
That,
some-
that's
I
the
did
thing.
some
It's like
work
all those
down
little things, man. It's just those little things that you have to buy, and like the ice cream, the treats, all that shit is ridiculously expensive. I don't even care. I mean, if you even go to like, I don't know, Cedar Point,
Yeah,
everything's super expensive.
sure.
Yep.
Yep.
And especially all the stuff the kids want. The magic wand.
And as much as you're like, no, it's your heartstrings where you're like,
Oh, we're in Disney.
they need that, or why not? Like, okay,
Yeah, but
I'm gonna blow it on something else.
true,
Yeah.
true. And then you find out you realize, okay, well, this is this trip. It's the magic. It's for the kids.
Sure.
It's not even about us at that point. It's like, all right, just spend that extra $50 for that magic wand that's blowing bubbles out of it with the lights and everything. That's gonna, when you get it home, it's gonna end up in the toy box that you're never gonna use it again. But
Sure.
in that moment, it's all worth it.
See, now I feel like I'm running out of time. Now I'm looking at the kid's age. My son will be 12. When do you start to lose the? Well, you know what? I take that back. I see adults go ham over the whole Disney deal.
That's true,
I don't
though.
think
we
he
went
knows the idea.
Was it you that said that you saw like honeymooners or something there? Or
all over the place.
Oh, yeah?
Like, so there's this thing you can get. It's a passport. I think it's free. But it's where you get like the signatures of every Disney character.
Oh, wow.
Right. And so like that's like a thing that people do.
Sure.
Is go to each of the parks and try and track down each of the ones, get a picture, get a signature. And the kids, they wanted Mickey, Goofy, Donald Duck,
Yeah,
whatever.
the big ones.
And we were in line for, I want to say it was like Winnie the Pooh. Like my kids didn't even really care, but the line was short. And I'm like, all right, let's knock one out,
I want
Yeah.
this one, guys.
And
Definitely need that.
I remember it was pretty early in the morning, and I'm looking like at the rest of the line, and it's all couples. And I'm like looking up, and they are spending like 10 minutes with Winnie the Pooh. I'm like, come on, guys. And they're all
Make it a
taking
good one.
pictures and doing. I'm like, yo, like literally, I'm the only one that has kids in this line.
Yeah.
Like, let's move it along, people.
Yeah, that's why I think about that. I'm like, you know what? I'm like, the magic's there. Like if you like Disney, or if you're gonna enjoy it, you're gonna enjoy it.
Yeah,
Listen.
the place is amazing.
Even as an adult, the magic is there.
Yeah.
Like, and for different reasons, right? Like, it's cool to see the characters and all that kind of stuff. But for me, the magic of like the production of everything,
Yeah.
like you go to Hollywood Studios
it's unbelievable.
and you'll just be like waiting in line to get a freaking hot dog or something like that. And all of a sudden, like stormtroopers start like marching in, and it's like all part of the show, but
Sure.
like there's no like barriers. Like they walk right through lines of people, and like you get out of the way. You know what I mean?
They're gonna
Like,
shoot us, man.
yeah, it's crazy. It's
cool.
pretty cool. And like Chewbacca would like run out and like start fight. Like I don't know. It was awesome.
Yeah, the place is amazing. I mean, I never went there as a kid. The first time I ever went to Disney when I was 19 years old.
And this is the one and I know.
Yeah,
people-
Florida, right?
Okay,
Yeah, Florida.
So I used to like in my mind they were like Universal. Well, as a kid, I used to go to Disneyland. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
California.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my family, my dad and my grandma, we've been out there my whole life. And, you know, that's a place that I used to frequent. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, yeah. And then I learned that they weren't the same.
Yeah.
And I guess Disney World is like 10 times better.
So Disneyland, the entire property that they own, fits inside the parking lot at Magic Kingdom Disney World.
Wow.
That's how much bigger it is.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. That's a good fact.
Oh, that's what they tell us.
right
that's
there.
what it's like on the thing, like when you check in and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
okay.
And the parking lot, by the way, is giant. I mean, like
just gonna throw
that's
that
my
out
big
there.
tip. If you go to Disney, pay for the VIP parking
Yeah.
because you get up to the first slot instead of like the 8th, and you don't have to walk like 4 miles just to get to the park.
Yeah.
And it's like the whole city down there, no?
Yeah.
So I actually did some work down there right before I went to Progressive. I had a sales gig and I was down there pushing chemicals with a guy that was doing cleanups and stuff like that. But we got to go like behind the scenes, and like you'd be amazed, like underground, you're in like commercial kitchens the size of like football fields.
Oh.
Like you're like
I believe that.
walk into like a little corridor and then it opens into this like massive galley and just like.
I believe that.
I mean,
I mean,
the place-
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean,
because
yeah.
it's
There's a lot of stuff
giant
going on
and it's so like perfectly manicured and like that's the one thing. Like you go to Cedar Point, and I think Cedar Point does a hell of a job.
Sure.
But
For the
it's
kid
very
crew.
clearly a park.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you go to Disney World, I challenge you to go there and find a piece of trash.
Yeah. Right.
It doesn't happen. They have
Unless you just threw it on the
supposedly they have people that are employed that are just in street clothes that go around and clean up and put things back so that because it doesn't look like anyone's even working.
Yeah.
The park is always immaculate.
It's perfect. It's
ground.
amazing.
Yeah. It's a pretty amazing place. What do you do now? He's got something else. See, it's like having the kids in the studio, man. You got the puppy running around grabbing stuff out of the garbage.
He's awesome.
Yeah, he's a good dog. Yeah, man. I mean, I definitely we want to figure out a vacation. We haven't done anything, obviously, because of COVID.
Sure.
And I'm like, damn, man. The kids. My son's asking if we could go stay in a hotel. He's just dying to do something. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go book a night at a hotel locally and just spend a night away from home. Like, I mean, just do something. I mean, we were just so bored.
We just did that, man. We pulled the trigger and did a Splash Lagoons trip.
Yeah.
I wouldn't dissuade anybody from going.
Yeah.
It's just I don't know, man. It's a lot of people.
Yeah.
One indoor shower.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, it's not that bad. It's a big facility. Like it was pretty good, and they were. I mean, for as busy as it was pretty well maintained.
Okay.
But-
I mean, I know a few of our friends have gone. They've said, I've had mixed reviews.
You know, people talk about Kalahari, and like I looked at that, and I mean, for the distance, like it was such a pleasant drive to whip up to Erie.
Yeah, yeah.
There,
Yeah, right there.
home. Price wise, like it was perfect, man. Like
Yeah.
a night, or was it 2 nights? 1 night in a hotel. Whatever it was like $330 or something for the package for the kids and the park and the meal, and I'm like, cool.
Yeah, it's
Hotel
doable,
stay.
right.
You know what, man?
Done
Like
deal.
for us, we're probably like, okay, well, this kind of might suck, but kids have the best time ever doing that
Right.
kind of stuff.
Yeah.
They don't even think about that kind of shit. Like think about like the
That's
kind of
exactly
vacations
what
you
it
took as a
was,
kid.
man.
Like we didn't do anything crazy.
Yeah.
But when we did, it was amazing. Like, I
Right.
mean, I remember going to Cedar Point. We would do this every year with my dad, and we would stay at the Breakers Hotel, and we go to Cedar Point, Splash City, or whatever the hell it was.
Soak City.
Soak City, thank
Soak
you.
City, yeah.
Soak City.
Good
And
call.
I mean, that was amazing. I love that vacation. And that was like, I mean, staying at the hotel is going to be expensive. You're
Sure.
I mean, it was my stepsisters and my brothers and I, so that's 5 kids,
Right.
But, I mean, I didn't think anything. I'm like, we never went to Disney, but I never thought anything different
Right,
of it.
right.
I was never like, oh man, I wish we would.
Did you
just
feel
go
like
to
you missed
Disney.
out?
Never,
Good.
never did.
Just
I
in
mean,
case we don't go.
yeah, right. No,
Yeah, I mean-
I honestly didn't because I mean, you did hear of your friends. You remember being in school and the kids would be like, "Oh, we just got back from spring break. We were at Disney." I'm like, "That's cool." I never really cared. I didn't really care about that kind of shit.
Yeah.
it never really bothered me.
I don't think I picked up on that.
I mean, I remember I went when I was like 9 or 8, something like that, and there was a hurricane.
But-
So we didn't get to. We went to Magic Kingdom one day, And then the rest of our trip then we got to go to Universal too. But I remember in the middle of it, we were stuck in the hotel for like 2 or 3 days. Weren't allowed to leave.
So what is that? So Universal Studios, what's the one in California?
So that's also Universal.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right,
yeah.
cool.
You're not
See,
crazy.
You were just really trying to trip me up.
No.
man.
Okay, so I've been to that too. I was like, I remember doing the ET ride. As a
Yeah.
kid, the
Yeah. Back to the Future
Yeah, yeah.
Back to the
ride.
Future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
And it's still the same thing. And now Universal's got like the big ones there is Harry Potter and Avatar, I think.
Everybody
Okay.
loves Harry Potter.
No, they have a good Cars thing out there too.
Yeah. I think that's in the one in California. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the one in California now has the Marvel thing
Ooh.
where they have like the whole like Avengers.
And then but then you go to Florida, you go to Disney World, and they're like, hey, no knock on Disneyland, but it could fit in our parking lot.
Right.
Watch us drive trams around.
Just a little fun fact that we put right here in the next to
Right,
the parking spot.
right.
Like, yeah, you know.
We park our trams.
The
in
craziest
Disneyland.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. The craziest
Look at
one
all
is
their
in Japan,
leftovers.
I think.
Oh, that guy! I think that dude's like 21st birthday. They're carrying him out of the bar. Oh yeah, he's got like his happy birthday thing around his neck.
That's awesome.
Oh,
Do you guys ever get random visitors?
We used to quite a bit.
yeah, people would stop, knock on the windows and stuff. We've had some
We've had a couple
drunk people.
moonings.
Moonings, yeah.
Yeah.
We've had.
It's like Friday nights down here. Like it's been a while for me, man. But you know,
like
I don't know if I ever walked up and down the side streets, but
Right.
you know, the main strip. As soon as the weather broke,
Oh yeah.
oh yeah, man. Like because you have the parking lot right over here, so
Yeah.
we had a few people that
yeah.
walk down this street, but not too many. Like if we were on the main strip, dude, I can't even imagine
yeah,
what that would be like.
even
People
more
would be pounding
insane.
on the windows and shit.
one camera out, one camera.
Yeah, you'd have to.
We thought about it too because there was a stretch there where we had some wild people.
I mean, people are hammered. Just let us in. Let us in for a minute. We're like, no, man. It's like in the
You
middle
know,
of
it'd
some
be
shit.
cool if you could like put a mic up and like just put a switch to it, so like
So you
people
could
did
hear what
come
was
up-
going on,
So
yeah.
you know they could come up and give
That'd
a
be
shout
kinda
out or
cool,
something.
actually.
Awesome. I mean, we've kind of talked about like, hey, maybe we should just like post up on the corner over there.
We're gonna check
Street,
in
just
with
have people stop in and like, yeah, we're gonna go to the street. Yeah, let's talk to a random drunk. I got a camera right there in the window.
I like it. Now we're thinking
could be
outside.
fun,
I like
actually.
that idea.
That could be a lot of fun.
Probably wouldn't be that difficult. We'll just set a mic
No.
out there. You know?
No, it wouldn't be difficult
Just
at
like
all.
this.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, see, we're good to go.
Now we're thinking.
But yeah, vacations, man.
I'm dying for one.
I am ready.
I'm telling you, man. I'm like,
Getting there.
my brother. So Mike took his daughter to. They do that splash lagoon thing every now and then, but they were like, we're sick of sitting around. There's nothing to do. They went to that hotel in Geneva. You know, that's like right
yeah.
on the lake. That
Yeah.
real nice place, and they just spent
The
a night.
lodge.
Yeah, the lodge. They spent one night there, and the kids went to the pool.
Yeah.
They went with a bunch of their friends, and the kids like spent the night at the pool, and they had. I mean,
That place
they
is
said it was
phenomenal.
amazing.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
kids were completely content with it, obviously, because they haven't done shit. You know, they've just been
Yeah.
hanging out and like.
Never stayed, but I've been there for.
We went there for a wedding once. I think.
Yeah.
wedding.
Yeah.
What was it for? The big back stone.
Yeah, it's really nice back there.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean it's a nice spot. I mean, I'm just thinking of something like real quick for a quick weekend. You know,
Yeah,
like,
literally anything. I'm in.
something
Let's
to
go.
do, man. Because we've been talking about Hocking Hills. Like,
Yeah.
we should do something like that. And
See, I like Hocking Hills, man, but I tell you, like, it's not short. Like, it's not.
that's a long drive.
It's a long drive.
Yeah.
If you want to take kids, like, you're actually limiting yourself to
You-
foot or ground activities. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah. I know. It's like, I mean, have you guys
I've
ever
actually
been to,
never been.
Have you guys ever been to Salt Fork? That's a little.
No,
bit better of a
you
drive.
told me
So
about it,
that's
though.
like a little
It's like a lake, right?
past Canton, and it's like it's like a big camping area. It's like
Yeah.
a smaller version of
Yeah.
Hocking Hills. I mean, obviously it
I've-
doesn't have like the
I think I've
mountains
been
and all
there.
the hiking trails, but it's really, I mean, it's a nice place. We went there a couple of years ago.
Nice.
And it was, I mean, it's pretty awesome, and it's a much shorter drive.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking like go past the Football Hall of Fame, and you're like a little bit further, and you're there.
Oh, so it's like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
right?
And I was just about to say, there's not a whole lot of stuff to go south, but I think there's like that. Is it Clay's Resort, Clay's Park, or
I'm not familiar.
I'm not sure.
Yogi?
Oh,
Oh,
Yogi,
Yogi,
I've
yeah.
heard of.
something like Yogi Stone. Or
Yeah.
something.
I mean, that's the thing. Is like if you really want to, you can figure out something to do.
Something to do.
You say
Yeah.
I want to drive less than 2 hours. You can figure out a place, and honestly, it's kind of fun just to go try something.
Yeah, and
you never
hopefully-
know.
Hopefully, everybody gets opened back up here soon.
Right.
man.
That's the thing, man. It's
Right.
tough.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
I'm over it.
oh, beyond.
I'm so over it.
Beyond. Shit, man. Like, I don't even know how many places are going to open. Like, nobody can find any help anywhere.
Yeah.
That's the crazy part.
Like, we were talking the other day about restaurants, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, Ian said McDonald's on 306 the other day was closed.
It was closed on a Saturday morning.
I saw the sign.
They had a sign on the drive-through.
I saw the sign. I was like, oh wow.
Closed, no one to
man.
work.
Who else did that? I pulled through somewhere the other day and they had the same similar thing. They were like, sorry about. It was the BK in Eastlake on Vine Street. They were open, but it was just a sign from like over the weekend.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, sorry, we're not open like due to scheduling. I'm like, ooh.
It's funny. I went to the one on 91 the other day. I was like, I gotta get something really quick to eat. It was on my lunch, and I'm like, you know what? I want to get. I'm like, oh well, they have the you get a Whopper or like the classic chicken sandwich for $1 more. So you buy one, you get one for $1. I'm like, oh, here we go. My lunch is gonna be awesome. I get to the drive-thru. They're like, hey, do you mind coming in? Because we're not working the drive-thru. I'm like, because they don't have anybody.
Wow.
And every place you drive by has help wanted.
Yep.
Interviews, open interviews, like just
They're all door dashing.
dude. I mean,
They are.
Yeah.
So
on to that stimulus
there's
check
the unemployment stuff is really hurting the job markets, and then it's the door dashing. I mean, even just like we were here a couple weeks ago.
I was trying to get an Uber.
I was trying to get an Uber home.
Nobody's.
My wife, so we went out to dinner. My wife took the car home, and I was like, yeah, I'll just Uber home. And I wasn't even thinking, like it was just a normal thing again.
Uber, man.
And we're sitting here, and I'm like, all right, nothing.
I'm like, try Lyft. He's all right, cool. Oh, I got a Lyft. All right, what's it say? Hour. I'm like, dude, it's
and then
I mean,
after an hour, it said, do you still want this ride? And it went from like $12 to $70-something. I'm like, yo, this is
stupid.
because I think that all the people that were used to driving are now just doing DoorDash and like Uber Eats and whatever.
For moving people.
Forget
exactly.
moving
Deal with
drunk
the
people
drunk
in my
people.
car and
Yeah.
shit like that. I'll just drop off food, and I don't blame them at
You don't have
all.
to deal with anybody. You have to go wait in line for food, but
Right.
like you have to go deal with anybody.
They don't even have to wait in line anymore. All these restaurants have been smart.
Yeah, they
They
have it
have
ready.
separate parking areas just for people that are door dashing and whatever. Yeah. Super smart.
You're not the first person to bring up that whole Uber thing. Somebody else just mentioned that the other day. They couldn't get one.
Yeah.
fine.
They're just
I
non-existent.
didn't think about it.
Remember how readily available they used to be?
Yeah.
You'd be like, all right,
great.
well, I'm like, all right, I'm downtown Willoughby. I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna head home.
I'm a non-Uber man. I've never. I've never ordered an Uber.
Yeah.
I feel weird saying that.
Hey, well,
I've been in Ubers.
Yeah.
I've
Never
had the
actually-
been in the one that had to
order
do it,
one
yeah.
now.
I got to a point where, especially like doing the podcast and stuff like that, I would just Uber from home to here.
sense.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it was nice. Never have to worry about it if I want,
Cruising.
yeah,
Yeah.
man, it was easy too. It would be like you go onto the app and you're like, all right, they're 5 minutes out. I mean, you
Right.
get anybody, any time of the day.
It's probably nice I drink less now, but
That's true. Yeah, I think when it started, when we were doing the Uber thing all the time, we're like, all right, well, let's get after it.
Yeah,
then.
right.
It's like,
Right.
okay, well, now let's take it easy.
so it's probably better. But
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, the whole economy of everything is just changing, right? Like we don't know what restaurants are going to survive. I mean, because we're still in that spot where people are doing business now, but without being able to staff things, like people are going to start making decisions.
Yeah.
And I think that's unfortunate, but
Something's got to give, though. No.
I mean,
Gotta go
yeah.
back to I guess the hard part for me is like I don't, and you just people don't flaunt it, but like who's getting this unemployment? Like, is it the people that are just like the regular everyday workers
Yeah.
out there that are just
Yeah.
like they're like screw going to work? They're getting
Right.
paid. Like,
yeah, why?
Yeah.
I'm getting this check every
it's
2 weeks, and like, I mean,
something's got to give.
something's got to give, and unfortunately, what I don't know. I mean, what do I know? But I think it's going to be price, right? Like, just okay. Here's what's going to cost because in order to get people to come in, I'm going to have to pay them more.
Right.
yeah,
Um,
then everything's gonna go up.
I know I have.
My Whopper and chicken sandwich
It's gonna go crazy.
option's not gonna be there anymore.
Yeah.
For $1, it's gonna be buy one get one for $5. Like, what the hell? It's the same price as a sandwich.
I'm getting trying to hire people right now.
Oh, yeah, we were
so
talking about that,
I own
yeah.
childcare centers.
Okay.
And I have these girls that are just finishing up their 2-year degrees to come and like applying, and it's like a $12.50 to $13.50 an hour job, and they're like, "Well, I'll do it for 19."
Like, what?
Listen, it just don't work that way. Like,
Right.
here's your path, but like,
Does that go into the conversation of people just being entitled to think they could get
It might be
fucking thing. Because I mean, remember when you got a job?
Who has that conversation? I'll do it for 19.
Yeah. Right? I mean,
straight-faced.
all right.
Straight-faced.
You're like, oh,
Never worked a day in their life.
Yeah. You're like, oh, you're serious. That's funny.
Yeah, like 22 years old. Literally, like resume is school only. Never ever worked.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what?
I was talking to somebody who said they were doing interviews, and he's like, the one guy was like, he had all the right answers. He's like, yeah, I want to be the best employee that you've ever had, and I want to grow this company. He's like, and then I interviewed this other kid who's like fresh out of college, and he's like, so what do you want to do? What are your goals? He's like, oh, well, what I would like to do is start off with something like this, and like one day I want to own my own business. I want to do this and that and the other thing. He's like, oh, that's cool. So what you want to do is come here as like a little starter, and then just peace out, like, and go do something better, right? So, I mean, that's a great goal.
Yeah.
But
I actually want that person, though.
Do you? Because this person I talked to said the opposite.
Really?
It's like, I would prefer that they want to be like, hey, I want to be part of this company. I want to help it grow to something amazing. I want to be here for it. I want to be the best employee.
Sure.
But I mean, I love the drive, but this kid is like, and he's also asking for
Right.
That can
more.
That can go a couple different
But
ways.
it's like, if you're fresh out of school, dude, like, you got to start somewhere.
I love the challenge of finding somebody who wants to learn and take everything that they can in order to go do their own thing, so that they can then realize really what goes into it.
Yeah.
And then worst case, you're getting a super motivated, super, like, they're going to do everything they possibly can for a set amount of time.
Yeah.
And it,
Maybe.
right.
That's the hard part, man.
I mean, we all have the people that say, like, that's what I want to do. But I mean,
Well, and that's
like,
kind of what I'm getting at, though, is that most people then realize, shit, I got it pretty good. I can do all the things that I want to do.
Yeah.
And also be stable.
yeah.
You know?
But someone's also, you're like, okay, so I'm just your, I mean, no, I love the goals, but you're also like, don't you want to kind of help me? Don't you want to be here at this job? Don't you want to be, I'm just using you as a stepping stone and I'm out, dude.
Yeah, there's certain roles.
Something about longevity.
Where that's the appropriate conversation. You know, if somebody's trying to build their business sense and you bring them in on like a sales gig or something like that, or a marketing gig or something like that to better help them understand the business world, that's one thing. But, you know, if you're talking about bringing somebody in for training in a certain direction or path, you know, like HR or something like that, I'm sure you're not looking to turn and burn people trying to figure out.
I think it depends on what the business is, right?
Sure.
So also you're like, hey, I mean, you.
Oh, sorry.
I saw it and I'm like, okay, I think I need to fill up.
Old tub.
The old tub is what we're drinking.
Is that what it's called? Old tub?
Yeah.
I thought that was just like the back of it.
No, it's called Old Tub. It's good whiskey.
But it's like, it's the thing of like,
It's delicious.
you want it to be, you're here for a job or you're here for a career. And like, I feel like as an employer, you're probably like, I want to have you as this is your career. Like, I mean, I understand the motivation part of it. Like they're motivated. They want to be bigger. And I think that's awesome for anybody.
Sure.
But I also think it depends on what the company is.
The industry matters.
Yeah.
The type of business matters. And maybe this is a product of me just seeing over the last 15 years what really happens is people typically don't stay with one company
Not anymore.
Yeah.
for longer than like 10 years.
Yeah.
7 years.
Yeah. I mean, even shorter
6
than that.
years
a lot of times.
sometimes, you know.
But that's still good. I mean, that's pretty good.
That's a long time.
that's pretty damn
And
good, yeah.
that's how I almost look at it now is like, look, I have 6 to 8 years with this person, regardless. I mean, the stats say that for one reason or the other, it's just not going to. I mean, I have one lady. She's amazing. She's been with us for 22 years, 23 years this year. That's amazing.
That might be like a more old school thing. I think a lot of people younger now do it differently. Now, here's the problem that you may have, though. Like, say you have a company, right? You own a company, and you bring somebody in, and you spend all the man hours, you spend the time, you spend all the money training them, right? You bring all these people in to train them, you do all this shit. You give them a year or two, and they're like, on to the next thing. Because I mean, a lot of people, that's what they do. They jump. And that's just how it is now.
Right.
So, and you kind of expect it, but it's like at the same time, it's like, damn, we spent a ton of time, and now we got to go hire somebody else.
That's the money, man.
Because I mean, sometimes it takes a long ass time to train somebody to do it.
Forget that it costs an employer. Sometimes they don't acknowledge that it costs an employer money to employ you.
Right.
It's not
Right.
just,
it's not just your salary.
it's not just your salary. There's a cost of
Salary is like 1/3 of what it costs.
Yeah. I mean, you're bringing people into, special training, any type of thing. And it's like, okay.
Well, just like benefits and
Everything.
payroll tax
Benefits,
and all that kind of
taxes,
stuff.
everything,
like,
yeah.
It's outrageous,
So that's where I think my mindset is with that. It's like, I appreciate how it is now. Like, you keep moving around and trying to find something better, and that's phenomenal. But it does suck for an employer when it's like, man, we just spent all this time on this person. Now it's like, we got to hire somebody and start over from scratch. It's like, damn it, man.
So I heard this somewhere, and I've used it with my management team for the last couple of years. I can't remember where I heard it from, but train somebody well enough that they could take your job.
There you go.
Yeah.
But treat them well enough that they won't. You know what I mean? Like, and that's a very idealistic thing. Like, but if you can strive for that, and I've seen it work. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen some people that still work for me, that could absolutely go off and do their own thing and be a competitor, right? But they don't.
Well, I think that also goes to the employer too. Like,
Yes.
how you treat your employees.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, even for yourself, you don't want to create an environment that you don't want to be around,
Right.
or that you wouldn't want to be part of. So,
Exactly.
yeah, if you had the opportunity to build it, make it awesome.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's crazy though. I mean, like I said, I would hire 8 people today if I could.
Well, yeah,
They're
going
just not out there.
back to that is there's no one available. It's like trying to find a house.
Yeah, right. It's maybe not quite that bad, but
It's bad, man.
Stories about that going on right now.
It's-
The hard part is people are like, "Oh, your house is so, or you can sell your house so fast." And it's like, well, the other side of that is like,
where am I going to go?
to buy something.
Yeah.
But the downside to that is, and I don't like how how it gets talked about as a good thing. This overvaluation, inflation, like that. That's no good for anyone.
It's not good.
It's not. I mean, there's a shortage on house.
I mean, you got
Sit
people.
tight, hold your money. They're talking about a coin shortage. Just laughing about that. But like,
Right.
sit tight. Hold your money. You know what I mean? Like, let's.
I mean, there's people right now that are, going $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 over asking, paying cash,
Sight unseen.
waiving their right to an inspection.
Yeah.
So it's not getting assessed. It's not getting valued.
Barf.
And people are holding these notes that at some point is going to hurt them.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean,
When
think
the
about
market corrects itself.
think about that, man. You spent 30 over asking. House isn't even appraised at that. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's not going to appraise.
I mean, you're like,
You have no idea what's actually wrong with it because no one's going in there and taking a look.
For example, my wife and I have been looking for houses for like a year now, and I mean, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah. Where do you guys want to move?
Just Menor, Concord area.
You guys are in Menor, right?
No, we're in Willoughby right now.
Are you in Willoughby?
Yeah, so like we're just growing out of our house, and we went to this house, and we're like, the house is beautiful. And my realtor takes us in the basement. And he's like, all right, let's take a look down here. He's like, I mean, he's very specific about everything. Like, he checks out everything, and he's like, he goes, I see some water damage down here in the basement, like the one part that wasn't finished.
Yeah.
So he calls out the realtor. He's like, hey, did anybody ask about this water damage down here? And she's like, no. He's like, okay, you have offers on it already, right? She's like, yeah, we have like 6, and they're all like 30 over asking. He's like, no one's concerned about everything. He's blindly buying houses.
Because where are you going to go?
You have no.
You got to take your shot.
That's the thing, though. It's like like we said, I could sell my house right now for way more than I ever thought I could.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I could show my house right now with the kids' mess in it.
Right.
I haven't cleaned. There's dog hair everywhere,
You literally could.
and I could be like,
Just
this is
wanna
our
come
house.
in here and start
People like
playing.
usually they're gonna clean up and make it look immaculate.
Yeah.
But I'd be like, this is the house. I'd be like,
Yeah.
okay, here you go. Boom.
Yeah.
20 over what you were asking for.
Right.
Cash.
Right.
There you go. But like you said, where the hell am I going to go? Yeah. At least like if you're building a house, for example, like you are, at least there's that light at the end of the tunnel. So you know you're going to be in your apartment for this long.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you're like, okay, well, I'm going to go move with my parents. Or get an apartment. But there's no light at the end of the tunnel because you have no idea when you're ever going to find a house.
Yeah.
So we're
Dude.
like, I guess we'll just sit tight. I guess we'll have like bunk beds for the boys right now while the baby comes in, and like we'll just deal with it.
Yeah.
Because what the fuck are we gonna do, man?
Right.
3.
Oh God, man.
Oh, bless you, man. Oh,
I'm just rebuilding the Backnick clan, man.
Yeah.
That's
You
it.
know, it's like the 3 boys again, right?
Got to do it. I love
My
it.
brothers had all girls, so I was like, I gotta Carry on the name.
My Three Ninjas or My Three. What was that? My Three Brothers.
There was Three Ninjas.
Three Ninjas, man.
Colt.
Tum Tum.
Tum Tum.
And
Rocky.
Yeah.
Rocky
loves Emily. Rocky loves Emily.
I'll be honest with you guys. I watched that last year during the pandemic.
How amazing is it?
So good.
It's got to be awful.
Man.
It's got to be awful.
So terrible. But as kids, though, man.
I need to get a VHS player.
Honestly, if you could start digging those up, man, they're selling for a lot of money.
I always see like great vintage movies, and I'm like, well, I should probably try to find it on DVD. But then I'm like, I don't even have a DVD player.
Yeah.
PlayStation or whatever. I don't even own one these days.
It's like if you had like your old CD book that used to be in your car. You're like, where am I going to listen to this? Like,
Yeah.
I have to go buy a Discman. You don't have it in cars anymore.
Right.
It's funny.
You know?
I have a CD book somewhere in the garage filled to the brim with CDs.
Oh, yeah.
Just shoved on a shelf somewhere.
I love that meme. It's like
$100s.
it's like people now like our age complaining about people texting while driving. It's like, remember going through a
Oh,
CD book
yeah.
and trying to find the next CD?
You're trying to light a cig, go through freaking 400 CDs. You got the visor up.
They're looking at that one. You're like,
Wait, it's over here.
Dude, I got this new mix somewhere in here. I'm going to find that real quick.
Those were the days.
Always
man.
distractions.
Oh yeah. Not to mention the 3 other idiots in your car that are throwing shit at you.
Oh
And
man, I forgot somebody burned a hole in the ceiling of my car trying to ash out of the sunroof that wasn't open. Dude, just open the window, man.
Anger.
I'm like, come on, man. I'll never forget that Barlock. The good old days, man.
Oh yeah. So baseball's going on right now. What else? You know what? I actually have a really important question for you.
Ooh, I want to hear
What else does your daughter do?
Sports wise?
Just like
Activities.
activity wise, anything. So my daughter is 3. She'll be 4 in July.
Yeah.
And we just talked about this a few weeks ago, how me and my wife, we signed my son up for all these different basketball camp, football camp, baseball camp, all this stuff. And my daughter, like, she does gymnastics.
She just hangs out, man.
So gymnastics is the other thing.
Mm-hmm.
We were doing that up until COVID hit. She had actually completed her second session, like full session, and then she got, or not she, but they ended up shutting the school down or whatever.
Yeah.
So we went to go sign her up this last, not 2 months ago, 3 months ago. We go to do it, and she goes, I don't want to do it. Well, I have $140 credit just sitting on there.
Yeah.
They're like, well, we don't refund you. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like, we'll figure it out. So we just got her signed up again. My wife's going to commit to taking her on a weekday at like 4 in the afternoon or something. And that's the other thing. It's
They're
like,
crazy
they don't
times.
make these classes available. I'm like,
No,
what,
man.
dude?
I'm like the one. So we did like that ninja training thing. Was it like 4:30?
It was 4 or
o'clock.
4:30. Yeah.
I'm like,
I had to quit.
what the hell? I'm like, how? Okay, well, I can't get there.
Yeah.
There's no chance.
Yeah.
I don't know how we're gonna pull this off.
She likes to do everything the boys do. So
Okay.
baseball. She likes to play with the basketball. She's tiny, so I don't even know what she weighs. She's got to be like 55 pounds or 60 pounds. It's just a tiny little thing. She likes to run. She likes to scooter. She's not really into soccer or volleyball or anything like that.
Yet.
But
No.
she just likes
Yeah,
playing
you know what
around.
I mean, like you never know. It's just one of those things. Like it
super
might.
active, super outside, super like I want to be outside. She's got the best imagination. She plays by herself so well.
That's how my daughter is. She's
Yeah.
always very independent. Like she actually her thing recently, I don't even think I told you this yet, but recently we'll get home from school and Gibbs will be like, all right, let's play with our trucks first, and then maybe we'll go outside and play baseball. We'll go to the playground.
Does he get frustrated when she doesn't do what he wants her to do?
No, he really doesn't care that much, but she will just look me straight in the face and go, I would like some alone time.
My kid does. She's
Missy,
like,
you were
"Leave me
3.
Yeah.
Wait.
Here's the deal.
Okay.
Like,
Go.
like I mean, Sam demands a lot of attention. So I think that's why we have so many activities, because like I'm like, I got to keep this kid busy.
Yeah.
Right.
Where Ben, he's the younger one, doesn't give a shit about anything.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to go anywhere. He just like wants to go. He'll play with his own toys, and he's got a crazy imagination. Like he just wants to just do his own thing. Plays so well by himself. Sam was like, dude, Ben, let's do this, and Ben's like, no, I'm good. Sam's like, what? he won't play with me. I'm like, dude, just go do what your brother's doing. Use your imagination.
try.
Go figure something else out. Like, I mean, oh man, I don't know if it's like the second one is just like, maybe the older one got more attention. I don't know.
Maybe I don't know.
You know, like they're just like they just had to figure it out on their own to be like, okay, well, I'm gonna just do this on my own because
Yeah,
we're
like
so focused on the other one. I don't know.
she's so funny, man. If she wants a snack, she just goes. And she like pulls any kind of chair or whatever to climb up and get in the fridge. I mean, I don't know how many times I've walked into the kitchen and she's inside of the fridge and there's nothing else, like there's no stool or anything like that. I'm like, how'd you even get up there and open that up, you know?
Yeah, man.
She just does what she wants.
I've walked into the kitchen in the morning and found Ben standing on the countertop, just grabbing his own cup and
Yeah,
everything. I'm like,
right.
what are you doing? He's like, oh, milk. I'm like, well, just ask me. I'm like, what are you going to go in the fridge and pour yourself milk? I'm like, no chance.
He probably would.
He probably would. It would be a disaster.
Because that's what Sloan does. She goes and gets it out. She puts everything on the floor, makes a mess, you know? And like,
I usually catch him in
I
time.
try not to discourage it
I mean,
because
figured it out,
it's
man.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, well, and she'll clean it up too. Like she'll try and hide it. Like she was never there.
I try to encourage it at this point.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Saturday mornings,
Leave me alone. Go
Do your
figure it out
thing.
yourself.
Dad,
Yeah.
Dad from the other room.
Right.
Dad, what? Orange juice? I need orange juice. I'm like, please, just figure it out.
You know where it's at. Just
Go
grab
get
it.
the cup, crack that thing open, put it on the floor, pour it, leave me alone.
Yep.
Just give me like
I'll
30
clean it up
minutes.
later.
There's a
I don't
mess. We'll
care.
clean it up. It's
Orange
fine.
juice. She's an orange juice fiend. I sometimes worried that she's like diabetic, but she every morning like clockwork. Like if you don't hand her the cup within like 2 minutes, 3 minutes of being up, like, you didn't give me my juice. Orange juice.
Damn,
My
it.
mistake.
Yeah, sorry. No milk, no water. Okay,
She
orange juice.
doesn't eat breakfast. Like she doesn't. She'll take like the bite or two off of the top of a muffin.
Yeah,
And that's it.
yeah,
My kids are really into Eggos.
yeah. Eggos is a good way to go.
So convenient and easy.
Sam will not. I mean, Sam crushes breakfast. He'll eat a giant breakfast.
Yeah.
Ben will not touch anything, which I love because I'm like, all right, well, I'm out the door. I'm like, yeah, he left that. I start grabbing the pancakes and sausage. I'm like, all right, I'm good to go. I'm like, yeah. I always say, man, I'm like,
That meme is so good.
yeah. Just looking around the tree. I love that guy, man. Literally how I feel every time.
Literally, they had chicken nuggets or chicken fingers
man.
tonight and fries, and like
I love the leftovers.
they only ate like half of those. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna scoop these up
Oh,
before I
it's-
leave.
It's gonna happen. You know it.
My kid won't finish a meal ever at a restaurant, and she gets the same thing. She will not. She won't order outside of a chicken tender and fried
Oh yeah,
basket or whatever.
it's always the same thing.
But she's like one chicken tender every time. That's it. I'm like, do you guys serve like a
Yeah,
kid?
you guys, a
kids'
realistic,
version?
a realistic kids meal
I think I'm gonna
because
give them like 3 tenders. How about one?
Dude,
Maybe 1.5.
we were doing the swim class out at it's called Goldfish.
Ooh.
So
heard
it's
of
it's out in like Warrensville,
Yeah.
and so on the way back, so yeah, you get off at Pinecrest and there's
hungry?
that BJ's. So you know BJ's. So and like I order the kids. I'm like, okay, kids menu. I'm like, all right, I'll get this guy some chicken nuggets or chicken fingers. Get him a cheeseburger, and we'll get macaroni and cheese. These, just to go back to what you were saying about the serving sizes, like, can they not just have like a real kid size meal?
Oh, just giant.
It's massive.
Yeah.
What classifies it? What makes this a kid's meal?
Like, what?
Because it's a meal.
Because it's kids' food.
Because it's kids' food, right?
Right.
I mean, I go home every time with a giant container of stuff that they're not going to even touch when we get home.
Right.
Although with the air fryer, do you have an air fryer?
I don't. Everybody talks about them.
Dude, I'm telling you, life
I'm
changing.
slacking.
Dude,
I'm telling you, man, like those that's the time where you go home with those extra chicken fingers and French fries, and you toss them in there.
I made fun of the
it's
air
like-
fryer society. I thought it was like
What?
I thought it was like
For like cheap bars that don't want to have a
what's
real
it called?
fryer.
What does Crockett do?
Oh, like CrossFit.
Yeah, I thought it was like CrossFit. Like the number one rule of having an air fryer is you have to tell everyone that
tell
you
them.
have an air fryer.
I literally do now.
So
Ian
do
sold-
I.
Ian sold
I'm the
me
one
on
that
it.
sold him on it, dude. Because like I got this thing, I was like, holy shit! Like I can actually make food taste good.
And I'm not an oven dude. Like I hate the idea of the oven. My wife does everything in the oven, warm it up.
Right.
I'm like, throw it in the microwave.
Right.
I gotta turn the oven on. I'm like, that takes 12 minutes to preheat.
Yeah.
Gotta turn the oven on. I'm like, oh.
Air fryer, man.
I
I'm telling
made-
you, even we were at BJ's and the girl goes, I'm like, all right, I guess we'll take these fries home and whatever. It's gonna be terrible later. She goes, do you have an air fryer? I'm like, actually, I do. She goes, they'll be just like they are right now. I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, fine.
Dude, I tell you what.
And I did.
That's
And it was
And they were amazing,
And the
weren't
kids were
they?
like, this is great.
That's what they're great for, is reheating like French fries, wings. Like I've done wings and phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
The other day, Gibbs goes, he goes, hey, Dad, can we do a meatball feast coming up?
Ooh.
And he loves meatballs, right? And I was like, fuck yeah, we can do a meatball feast,
I
you know?
want to do a meatball feast.
So it was like Monday, and we had Chelsea had planned something else for dinner. I'm like, well, we'll do it tomorrow. And then Tuesday, what did we do Tuesday? We did something Tuesday.
I don't know.
We went to the Indians game.
I went to the Indians game last Tuesday.
Yeah, we went to the Tribe game. So I was like, all right, Wednesday it is. So I went to the store, got everything I needed. I was like, all right, it takes like 40 minutes for freaking meatballs to get done, you know? I was like, wait a minute. I got an air fryer. 9 minutes, bro.
I know, I'm telling you.
And they were perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Did you like them with the marinara or just?
Oh, yeah.
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 So heat them up in there and then throw some marinara.
Little rigatoni and
Swedish meatballs.
I mean, I
I like
love
Swedish meatballs.
Whatever those ones, the little barbecue ones.
The Hawaiian ones with
Sweet
some
and
like
sour.
That was like my thing when we do tailgating.
yeah.
So actually what I did was I had that Instant Pot for the longest
yeah.
time.
That was the pre air fryer.
Yeah, and then the air fryer came along. I'm like, oh, this thing's just gonna go in a cabinet somewhere, and I'm never gonna touch it again.
Oven.
So when I first got that Instant Pot, whatever the hell it's called, I was cooking meals like I was like Emerald, dude.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, the first day I had it, I cooked 4 meals.
Do you remember the first thing you cooked in that thing? Because I remember the first thing I cooked that I had never cooked before and will never cook again.
Same here, and it was like this. There was a few different things. I did like some shrimp thing, like something
I did like a shrimp linguine
I'm like,
with
Liz,
like clam
I-
sauce, some shit, and it was phenomenal.
I come into the dining room, I'm like, babe, I just like throw the plate
You're
out. I'm
taking
like,
pictures of it and
shit.
shit.
Like, taking pictures.
Check me out.
I'm like, I also made these meatballs. She's like, okay, I don't want these. I'm like, well, I do. And then I'm like, I made this rice.
Are you
like,
sure?
This risotto. I'm like, I've been coming out with all these amazing. She's like, why do we have 6 meals? I'm like, I YouTubed a video and they showed me the first 5 like meals that they showed on there. I made all of them the first
hilarious.
night, and like I only made meatballs after that.
Yeah,
I gotta
right,
look into this
right.
Air fryer thing.
The air
fryer's
fryer is
legit.
legit. You know what's actually really good in the air fryer?
Tell
Hear
me.
me out. Brussels sprouts.
Yeah,
Brussels sprouts, man.
Brussels sprouts are phenomenal.
People hate on them for like absolutely no reason. Like,
good.
oh, I'm like, I go, and what about them's bad? Like they're like a mild or a slightly more distinct like broccoli wannabe.
Yeah, I mean,
broccoli cauliflower.
Yeah.
I think like the Brussels sprouts has got a bad name.
Yeah.
Right? You know, like when you're little, you're like, oh, that's disgusting.
They smell when they cook.
They do smell terrible.
Yeah, they do.
That's
Yeah.
part of the issue.
So I was inspired by. Hey, Walt. Hi, buddy. I was inspired
Mike,
by Hook and Hoof. I love their Brussels
Yeah.
sprouts when they put them on their stuff.
I want to try that place.
Oh, dude, so good. Simultaneously, it's really good.
I want to triple down on that.
Just go
Yeah.
go get a wedge salad and then get yourself some meatballs.
So is it? Correct me if I'm wrong. Is it reservation only?
No, it's not.
Okay.
You can get
It's
in
a
there.
small enough place that you're better off. Like if you know you're gonna go, make reservations.
Me and the wife always think about doing fun stuff like that.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I recommend it.
Don't do stuff. Like,
I know.
Right. It's an awesome place. Fantastic food. It's all scratch food. Yeah, it's really, really good.
I'm just dying for their full menu to come back.
I know, me too.
COVID.
But yeah, so I did the Brussels sprouts. I try to do it like they do, with like big chunks of bacon and like some cheese, and like, dude, they came out so good.
Yeah.
sounds good.
It's really good.
Salty, maybe.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, gotta get the
Yeah.
salt on it, man. I'm so hungry right now. What did you think of Bibi Bop, by the way?
I liked it.
Okay.
The kids actually really liked
Yeah.
it. I went very simple.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You didn't get exactly what I told you to get.
I didn't.
I'm just kidding.
I got mostly, but I went with the spicy chicken,
Okay, yeah.
and you told me to go the regular chicken.
I switch it up.
I should have gone regular chicken though. I think
So there's a
Bibi
place-
Bop.
It's called Bibi Bop. It's like a Korean. It's like Chipotle.
It's like Korean
place.
Chipotle.
But it's Korean food.
Yeah,
Baby Bop.
Yeah. So the closest one to here is probably Pinecrest.
yeah.
So You said that, and I've seen the
Orange.
Like, the sign. Okay, yeah, the new shopping center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, I've been there. I've seen it.
Yeah.
So the first time I ever had it was when my son Ben was in the hospital when he was first born, and like he was there for 2 months. So I was like exploring all the restaurants over by the hospital.
Sure.
So I stumbled upon that place like one of the right at the beginning actually, and I'm like, I'll give it a try. And I mean, it's phenomenal.
So
What is it again?
It's like Korean.
It's Korean food, but it's
like a Chipotle style type thing, like where you go along the line and you pick out what you want in your bowl.
it's very much whole foods, and then you just get like I don't what's that barbecue sauce that they have?
Korean barbecue sauce, like the commercial.
Kind of.
They do have that. They have the sriracha. They have the yum yum sauce, the teriyaki.
Whatever the barbecue style sauce is so freaking good. And so you're just it's just like chicken and vegetables and noodles or rice, you know,
like-
whichever one you prefer. And like you just put it all together, mix it up. It's so good.
That's what makes me happy. Like hibachi,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
chicken, shrimp, maybe some scallop. Like that's all I really want. Like, oh, what's your last meal? Like hibachi, man. Give me some lo mein noodles.
Dude, I think I would be too.
fried
Yeah.
rice.
Yeah.
Every year on my birthday
It's
when I get to
been
pick.
a long time
it's
since
hibachi.
I've had hibachi.
It used to be something that was very like special. Like growing up, we used to go to Otani.
You know,
In
Tony's
Mayfield?
amazing.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh, like ooh, special. The
Yeah.
little mushroom soup. I was, woo.
Did
It
you
only
see-
happened,
I was drinking
once
the
or twice
tea and
a
everything.
year, and
Yeah.
I was like, with Ninja down in
Yeah,
Maryland. dude,
yeah.
like, two
Ninja's phenomenal.
Ninja's really good.
Awesome.
Really good.
awesome. People are like, what do you mean? I go, it's about this big.
Yep.
It's about that great. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's phenomenal.
Did you guys just see the video that came out of the little kid that was watching the hibachi chef do the volcano?
No.
This kid, he's probably 18 months, and he's just looking, and he's mesmerized or whatever, and like you can see like in the background of the camera like the flames go up, and he just goes. It's the best video I've seen in so long.
That was the day that kid became a pyro.
I mean, he's laser focused, and he's
Have you ever
like, did you guys just see this shit?
This guy's made a volcano out of onions.
The expression on
I'm
his
pretty sure he
kid's
poured
face.
water on it and it just blew up. I don't know what's happening.
As a kid, if we got a chef that didn't turn the freaking strobe light
Yeah.
on and clink on the sesame
Oh,
seeds,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
if they didn't do that, I felt like totally ripped. Like,
Right.
dude, who hired this?
Yeah,
guy?
this guy's garbage.
You know this dude's name's
him outta
Chris.
here.
Get him out of here.
bring another crappy card out here filled with all this
Yeah, I
food
want-
on it and have him tap on the damn.
I love
Redo it and then tell him to flip some chicken in my mouth. Flip that
Finish the
shrimp
show.
across.
Finish the show.
Yeah, if you come out here and toss some broccoli and not shrimp, we got issues.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you, man.
Remember when they started doing that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was garbage.
Yeah.
was
Fuji
all-
now. In the mall.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Fuji's good.
Fuji is good, man.
They're okay. I feel like they kind of
They were a lot better
Yeah.
before.
I haven't been there in a long time.
I'm sure it's part of the COVID nonsense.
Right.
One of the longest, I would say longest lasting restaurants in the mall, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still there is
Yeah.
Sakyo Japan.
Sakyo, yeah.
Chicken-
Love it.
Little bourbon chicken action.
No,
Is it
chicken
really-
teriyaki.
Oh, no,
is
that's
really
that Asian
chicken.
chow.
That's Asian
Chicken
chow still-
teriyaki
chow-
is.
Asian chow's been there for a
yeah.
long ass time, too.
Yeah. Didn't it used to be China Chow?
I think it
I think
was,
it was,
yeah.
yeah.
And they had to change it,
It
yeah.
used to be China Chow.
Change it to Asian chow.
Yeah, it was, dude. That's my go-to.
So
like,
good.
every time. Bourbon and
Bourbon
orange.
chicken's phenomenal.
Bourbon and orange. And then the only thing with Sakyo, man, was like it's like chicken substitute. You know, I don't like to hate on it because it's so delicious.
Yeah, I know
But
what
you
you
look
mean.
at it and you're like,
I know that's not chicken.
No,
it turns into bits and
I
strips
prefer
of chicken. You're
I
like,
prefer you
oh.
not cook that in front of me.
Yeah,
Because when you come out
I
there,
don't
and
wanna
pour-
know.
you pour a
chicken
giant bowl of it.
substrate, like
They just come out there with that giant bowl. It's like, you're
Well,
like,
what's funny
you
too,
know.
though, is that like they have the sample girl out there,
yeah. I don't think
and
they
like
even do
that.
Do they?
Well, I mean,
They use-
pre-COVID,
always,
you know, I mean, for sure.
always. Free
But
food.
like that was chicken.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Oh,
they
they're-
had
those come out of the
that.
back.
That gets you in, and then like they're starting to scoop the rest of it. I'm like, I don't think that's the same.
Chicken,
A
dude.
big ball of mush into individual chicken strips. It's like, yeah, cook it and then just chop it.
Yeah,
and go.
yeah.
Well, see, I was never really getting those meals though when I was like a kid.
Yeah.
Like I had to like wait till I was like in junior high school or high school, and I could actually have some money to go buy myself a meal because like we would go through the mall. And Mom's like, we're not getting food here.
Yeah.
I'm like, so I would go through that line. I would walk in front of that free sample girl. Like we would like. With our friends, I'd be like, all right, give me your hat.
Oh, yeah.
We would change shirts. We'd go back and grab another sample.
I'm
Like,
gonna
dude, I'm
need
like,
that.
yeah. I'm like,
Oh, thank you.
Oh, yeah, why not?
Oh, you guys have samples here? That's weird. Weird to see you guys
You
out.
already
for
reached
here.
out. Don't take that back.
Yep.
That's great.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Oh, you're right,
Asian
though.
chow.
Hibachi, any kind of, going back to Baby Bop, any kind of Asian cuisine is just my favorite.
Yeah.
I love Chinese
agreed.
food. I love Japanese food. I remember when I lived in Japan, when I was in the Marine Corps, we would go to these little hole in the wall spots. You know, you got to take your shoes off and you got to sit on the ground. But dude, the sushi that we would get, and they didn't do like hibachi style, but it was definitely stir fry. You know what I mean? And
Much more authentic, probably.
it was so good.
Yeah.
So good.
Oh man.
I mean, you miss like the butter and like the seasonings that you get here.
It's like
But,
oh man.
but like it was legit good,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Here it's like 100% MSG.
Yeah.
And it's glorious.
Yeah, you
So
get
good.
Fake goodness.
So good.
It's amazing. I want to get Chinese right now.
I'm in.
Have you guys ever had egg foo young?
I have.
So I was never
It's like the fried
there was never anything that I've ever ordered in my life
Yeah.
until this past year during COVID. And there's a guy I work with is like this place in it's off of Vine. It's called China Mountain 2. Now I don't know what happened to China Mountain 1, but the China Mountain 2.
Just to be clear.
I'm not sure what happened to
Nobody
1.
knows.
Nobody knows. It's a mystery. And he's like, he's like, you gotta try this. So I tried it, man, and it's like that's the only thing I've ordered from that place for the last
Really?
year.
Really good, huh?
I think it's the gravy or whatever. The
Yeah,
really
it's
healthy
like
gravy
this,
that they
like,
pour all over it.
It's like that sauce is like
It's like a brown
gravy's
gravy.
a better way to say it.
It's like
Yeah.
a brown gravy.
Yeah.
Gravy.
But it's like, man, and then I get this hot oil, pour it all over the top of the rice, and it's like,
See, I had to knock that stuff off, man. Hot oil was like I would order I would just go order a big thing of lo mein
yeah,
with like shrimp in it, and then just have the hot oil.
just pour it all over it.
Oh yeah, but it just starts to ruin the insides.
Oh my god, man! I'm telling you, I'll get that at lunch at work sometimes, and I'm like, second half of the day, like I'm eating this meal, and I'm like, I'm gonna crush this whole thing, and then halfway through the meal, I'm like, this is gonna kick my ass.
Crush me.
I'm gonna have some trouble here.
Worth it.
It is. In the moment, it's worth it. In the moment, it's so worth it. Like there's those times where I'm like, I'm gonna save half this sub.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. No,
That
I'm gonna
doesn't
crush
make
this
it.
whole thing right now. I'm gonna be in like a coma after this.
I've been waiting for this panda up here.
Oh yeah.
So it's not like I don't. The only reason in my sales gig, I used to stop there and just grab like a thing of food.
The one right over here off of Euclid.
across from the hospital.
Yeah.
So they have a peanut chicken.
Yeah, I know exactly
My
what you're talking about. It's like the
favorite
panko
freaking
chicken
thing,
with like the peanut sauce on it.
Man,
It's so good.
that's my favorite.
So I used to go up there and grab because you do the takeout. So you grab. They give you a container and you just
weigh
go
it.
over, walk around, fill it up with whatever you want, and they weigh it. And I mean, I would do that all the time.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But I mean, obviously during COVID, you're not really doing
I've just
buffets.
never even thought about it. Like I haven't been there forever, and I called and I think I called like a month ago. And like, oh yeah, the buffet is closed. I'm like, didn't even think twice about it. And then like the other night, my wife's like, "What do you want? I'm not hungry. What do you want? I'm out here doing something." I'm like, "Would you get me this peanut chicken?" She's like, "Sure."
Yes.
It was so good.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's probably even
just
better
what I
because
wanted.
it's not like sitting in the buffet line.
Totally fresh.
So if you get it fresh,
yeah.
it's got to be 100 times better.
yeah, hit the spot, man.
You guys this is killing me because I'm
Definitely
like,
hit the spot.
I'm like really hungry now.
That's what I'm saying. I even made myself more hungry before I got here. So
What is that?
He's chewing cords.
Bro.
Yeah.
He's going to get shocked.
Wally,
Stay away from the power cord.
don't
mean,
do
it's
it, buddy.
All right, so we talked a lot about food here.
Yeah.
And I could do this for hours, but I'm really getting hungry. Now, I guess I'm going to ask you, do you want to get into a proud dad moment here? You
Yeah,
wanna do
let's do that.
that? Okay. Do you know what I'm talking about? I kind of mentioned it to you. I kind of
Yeah.
cheated. I texted him the other day. And I was
Yeah,
like,
Ooh.
I mean, proud dad. I mean, it's kind of tough for me.
It's tough for everyone.
Yeah,
It really
And that's
is.
actually the point of it. I mean, like, and we don't necessarily go through it all the time, but like when we started doing this, one of the things that we really wanted to do was kind of force dads to say, I'm proud of my kid. I'm proud of me. I'm proud of my wife for handling this situation or whatever it might be. Yeah. And it's supposed to be tough because a lot of times I think just as men in general, we go through the day, you take care of business, right? And you don't think twice about it. It is what it is. You do what you do. But I think if you take a step back and actually think about a good situation, that will force you to try and replicate that, right?
I tell mine all the time. I'm proud of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the hard part for me is like trying to pinpoint necessarily a moment because my dad wasn't around, so I'm always like I always try to tell him like stuff that I never heard, like I'm proud of you, dude, like good job,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Like, oh, awesome. I've got little stuff for all of them, man. They're real good. Like the one with my boy stands out the most recent. That it's kind of unique that he came home with a suspension. Came home with a suspension letter and was like heartbroken. Like I was on the phone at work in the corner of the room. I could like see he was like upset when he came in, and my wife's like, like I hear in the background like, wow, what did you say? What happened? What did Long story short, he got like he got fingered in this like big scandal, like some like racial slurs and derogatory stuff on some kid on the bus, and I was like, what? I'm like, that's that's not immediately. Well, you always want to say, oh, it's not my kid,
Right?
And in my head, I'm going like, what they were accusing of him of. I'm like, unless he really has some some stuff he talks about when he's not around, like you never know, right?
Yeah, right, true.
So we gave him the benefit of the doubt, and immediately, like, just because of like I'm a fact finder at work, like he came home with this basically blank piece of paper saying he was guilty, like, and so we got on the phone and started digging into it, and they have an appeal process. We went through this whole ordeal, man, for weeks with the school board and getting the video off the bus, and because I found out that they had video audio, they got a grant in Menor, so every bus is equipped
Video and
with like
audio and everything, man.
every bus in Menor is equipped with like 1080p, like it's awesome. Like you can almost isolate like. So that's
Like
what helped
seats,
us out.
yeah.
Conversation, everything like that.
So
And
that was like the worst and best thing about this whole thing is the kid got sent home, falsely accused of being this bad person or saying bad things, being included in this group, bullying a kid, and he adamantly said no. We went through this whole appeal process, and why it wasn't looked at, and why they didn't just do the simple like research.
Yeah.
Right. We got the videos and the tapes pulled. The kid, it was completely wrong. Like they sent him home saying like it happened on this bus, and like he wasn't even on that bus with this kid. Like it was really messed up how it happened, and we still have this whole ordeal with like, hey, like how did this happen? Like how did he come home with this? Like I understand that these kids may have said something, but was there no fact finding prior to sending him home? Labeled this like if we didn't say anything, we were just like, oh my god. And just went with it.
just
like,
deal with it. Yeah.
It would have, he's only in 6th grade, but I'm sure that's not your permanent record, but for at least a year it is.
Well,
Yeah.
even if it's not your permanent record, like that is a 12-year-old
Not even
kid,
12, he's
11, 12-year-old
He's like,
kid that
what the heck?
is super impressionable, right? Like if,
That was
like in my head right now, what you're talking about is, listen, this is the way the world can work, and this is the way the world should work.
Yeah.
Right?
Very
Like,
much so.
You need, number one, you need to have faith that somebody is going to advocate for you.
Yeah.
And then number two, you need to advocate for yourself.
Correct.
Right?
Yep.
So, sorry, I
No,
cut
you
you off.
no,
Like,
you nailed, no, you nailed it, man. That was it. Like we were just so, I don't think anybody else like stuck up for the kid. If they did, we didn't know about it, but we knew the other kids involved, and when my kid was like, I just wasn't. He's like, that didn't happen. I didn't say that. I wasn't part of that. Like, and we found that it wasn't true. Like, I couldn't have been more proud. I was like,
yeah.
hot damn.
Well, yeah, because you go from like a level of being like, oh, holy shit, you did this, and you're like, what the fuck,
dude?
exactly?
Like, you came up, I'm like, are you? Like, and of course, like I didn't get mad immediately, but I was, he got like accused of calling a kid gay, like whatever. Like we don't use that kind of verbiage in our home. Like that's not we don't have an opinion about stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I was like, are his little buddies you just don't even hear him talk
Right.
like that.
Yeah,
It's just
exactly.
not, sometimes you hear these kids in play, and my kid's like the farthest from that. He's pretty much innocent. So when he was like, no, it's like, no, not a chance. Like I would never say that. Like, and it just, again, it came out that it was the farthest from the truth. best thing ever.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I was like, yeah, it was
such a relief,
good job,
too, man.
dude. Like,
yeah,
good job. 'Cause at
absolutely.
first I
That's a
was like,
super proud dad moment.
you know, I was like, I can't.
Hey guys, if you love what you just heard or watched, and we know you did, do us a solid and hit that thumbs up. Share with your friends and throw us a comment, literally about anything. Your support legit keeps us going. Oh, and don't forget to give us that 5-star rating. We really appreciate you.